Hey everybody, and welcome into Casual Relief Episode 2. Casual Relief, a door disc golf podcast. My name is Ben. Joined again is Michael and Matt. How you fellas doing tonight?
Doing super good. We went and hit up the local pho shop, and we got Matt to try his first pho. So Matt, tell us how it was.
Great. It was good. It was good stuff. I'm not a person that tries new foods easily, so it was amazing.
Oh,
that was a swing and a miss. The pho, not a swing and a miss.
no, not a swing and a miss. Never a
Matt's
swing and a
Matt's attempt at humor.
Most times, 9 times out of 10, my humor is a swing and a miss.
Okay.
Speaking of which, did you guys hear there was tech issues last episode? I know that
no one ever brought it up.
I know that we're working on Michael's sound. I know he was a little soft. Michael, if we could just, you got that fixed this time?
Yeah, it's fixed. Don't worry.
Good. Awesome.
Don't you worry.
Thank you. Good.
All right. Well, enough of this. We'll get into. We'll just do a quick rundown of the episode tonight. So tonight we did a challenge that we'll start it off with, and then we've got our main segment where we're going to talk about majors, and then we'll do buy or sell, and that's kind of just a brief rundown of the episode. But starting it off tonight, we did a challenge where we had to each buy with our fake money. A starter set for anybody just getting into disc golf, but there were some caveats to this. We each had to pick. We could only pick 4 discs: a putter, a mid-range, a fairway, and a distance driver, and they all had to be available and in stock on the Door Disc Golf website. And we could only spend $60. So this was pretty tricky. I will let you guys hash it out as far as whoever wants to go first. We'll just do your rundown. So give the disc, the plastic type, who makes it, and then what you spent on it, and then your grand total. Whoever spends the least amount of money will get a fake bonus point at the end. The points don't matter between us, but we want you to guys, the listeners, to tell us who had the best starter pack. If you were going to give the set of discs to a brand new player, who do you think had the best? So we'll let you guys go duke it out to go first, and we'll just kind of go around the horn and we'll kind of talk about it.
I'll go first because I know Michael and I have one of the same discs, so he copied me, folks.
Sure.
So I'll start with putter and go up to driver. So I took the Discraft putter line magnet for $11.99. And, I didn't really go. I've never really held a magnet in my hand, but it's the one disc I picked by name. If you're a beginner, you got to know magnet and metal, disc at metal, disc at chains has got to stick in there. So magnets, your disc has got to be a magnet to the chains. So mid-range, I went Discmania Neo Origin. Great disc just overall. I think it's a really good disc for anybody's bag. You can put out a hyzer, flip up to straight, and really can do some really good angle control with it. Really teaches you angles a lot as a beginner, which is super duper important. Fairway driver, I went Dynamic Discs Fusion Escape, used in the used section on their website for $10.50. I got another good. That's a value buy right there. Escape's got great. Just a nice straight disc. Really feels really good in the hand. Again, good for working out those angles and such. And then for the driver, I went Discraft Z-Line Thrasher for $16.99. Good disc, and I've got it on good authority from one of our mutual friends that the stamp on the side is a great place to put your thumb, and it gives you a lot of grip. So you know who you are if you listen to the podcast. But another good flippy distance driver, can really put out a lot of angles and do a lot with it. So I'm definitely probably not winning the imaginary fake point. So my total came out to be $59.47.
Skin of your teeth, getting it down under.
Mine's the value pack. You getting all of your money's worth. That's really the goal here.
Well, I think though we should also just say that everything available in the DoorDisc shop and at DoorDisc.com is all of a great value, some high quality stuff. You did pick something from the used bin. If you want something that's great quality from the used bin, JP of Night Owls
Yeah.
has thrown in at least half the items in the used bin. So you
There's-
know how they're all great. Definitely also mentioned as a thrower or hanger or flipper at some point in there. So shout
There's
out
a
to JP.
lot of really good stuff in that used section. So JP, we need more though. We need more.
Well,
on,
this is a
JP.
good time to also mention that JP, some of the stuff coming out of his personal collection, I believe, is being given away. It might disclaimer: all of these discs are also in stock as we record this on Friday, March 17th. So by the time that this comes out on Wednesday, some things might not be available, and the giveaway could have ended. I've got to check that. But he is giving away things as the Night Owls and Door Disc Golf podcast has just crossed 20,000 listens. So super awesome. Thanks to all the listeners out there. But be sure to go over to the Instagram of the Night Owls Instagram and check out that giveaway. So enough of that. Moving on. What was your total again? Where were you at?
$59.47.
All right. Michael, what do you got?
All right. Because such a great friend of mine and Matt picked such great discs, I had to do a little pivot here. And so I just did that while he was talking. So for my starter pack, the putter is going to be an EMAC Judge. The EMAC Judge, compared to its sibling, the Judge, has a little bit more glide and a little bit less of a bead on the bottom. So for those people that are starting out, not sure whether they want a bead or a beadless putter, it's a good little bit of both worlds, so you don't have to worry about that. Then for the mid,
How much was that?
that was $10.99. The mid that I did was the Active Premium Maestro. While I have not thrown it, it seems like it's a little bit of a suspect-ish, not quite a zone. So it's just a little bit of a stable mid-range that people will be able to hit as hard as they want. It's going to cover up some of the off-axis torque or anything along those lines, and just be a good flyer for them. That was $15.99. Then for my fairway, the most expensive disc in the lineup will be the Champion Leopard, the Barry Schultz Leopard. The Leopard is a great disc. The Leopard 3 was my first ace disc, so that's a disc that's near and dear to my heart. So the Leopard is a little bit less fast and a little bit less stable than the Leopard 3. So great for a beginner. And that was $17.99.
Spendy.
Yeah, big spendy. And then the last one, my distance driver, is the Proton Jet from Streamline Discs at $14.99. I also have not thrown this disc, but Thought Space Athletics does the stamps for any MVP, Streamline, Axiom, all of that for most of it. At least for the Jet they did. And the stamp looks sweet. And if there's anything that I look for in a Frisbee, it's that it looks awesome. I have confidence when I look at a disc that I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. And so that was $14.99, bringing my total to $59.96. That was really close.
4 cents.
4 cents.
Okay. Well, this is probably I'm going to go in reverse order because this will make sense. For my distance driver, I also went with the Proton Jet for $14.99. I also have not thrown it, but when you're just kind of looking at the flight numbers and you're looking for something that you can kind of teach people to throw, can throw it on hyzer, get it to flip up, get you some of that extra distance. And I think being an 11 speed, also like when somebody's trying to graduate towards a distance driver, you kind of have them work around the 8s and 9s first, and then graduate to like the 11 seems like the next natural step. So you're not throwing like a stiletto or a Corvette in somebody's hands, because that would just be no bueno in my opinion. But I'll keep working.
I've thrown the Jet before, and it is very similar to like your Thrasher type disc or your Hades type disc. Very similar to that as well. So yeah, I would agree that great pick by both of you. Great disc.
Sick.
My fairway driver also have not thrown, but it's an active premium Rockstar from Discmania at $15.99. That was my most expensive disc, but very similar in kind of thought behind that. Of that, it's an 8.5 -2.1, so kind of similar and kind of getting that to kind of flip up and ride a little bit for people. And then for $13.99, my mid-range was a Royal Medium Mustang from Mint Disc.
Nice.
Really just not a whole lot to say about it other than that it's just a straight flying fairway, or straight flying mid, I should say, 5502. So, yeah, that was just what I was kind of looking for in a mid. I was just kind of like, when I was going through my thought process of like, what's the next like step up? Because obviously, when you're teaching people to throw, you want them to throw a putter and then graduate, and like then kind of, at least in my opinion, for me, if I was learning brand new, I would want to like throw straight and then kind of learn kind of shot shaping. So mid had just something super straight. So $13.99 Royal Medium Mustang from Mint, and then my putter for $12.99 was the D-Line Flex 2 P1 from Discmania. Yeah, I think there's the P1's just a classic from Discmania. Not a whole lot really to say about it. It's just a reliable putter that I would say at least 80% of the Discmania touring team probably putts with P1s.
No, I put P2s.
Or P2s.
Yeah.
Well, P1 or P2s, depending on the
one of the two.
I mean, yeah. So that's $12.99. My grand total, and I think I get the point, $57.96.
Well done.
Easily got the point. Congrats.
So in all clarity, two of my discs would have been the same as Matt's. My initial, I chose the soft magnet for the putter, and then also that used Fusion Escape. If I would have went with that, my number would have been at $52.47. So then I was like, no, that's too cheap. So I had to up it up and get them.
You pivoted on that super quick. I did not expect
hard.
that.
I pivoted hard, dude.
You guys got to stop tipping picks to each other.
I mean, I honestly thought it was a disc all three of us were going to pick at 1050, and that Fusion plastic is pretty. From what I know about it, it's pretty durable.
Very durable. Yeah. I have a Fusion Escape currently in my tournament bag that I've been working on for 3 years, and it hasn't lost. Like, it currently is just losing stability casually. But periodically and gently, it's not anything like drastic at all. So yeah.
Well, right on, fellas. I thought that was very fun. I enjoyed hearing everybody's kind of rationale, but now it's time for our audience to let us know whose discs they would pick. We'll just each go. We don't need to give a whole lot of explanation. We'll just go down the line again one more time. My putter was a D-Line Flex 2 P1 from Discmania, a Royal Medium Mustang from Mint, an Active Premium Rockstar from Discmania, and a Proton Jet from Streamline. Michael?
For the putter, EMAC Judge. For the mid, the Active Premium Maestro. For the fairway, the Champion Leopard. And then for the distance, a Proton Jet.
I went distance driver, Z-Line Thrasher from Discraft. Mid was a DD Fusion Escape used. And then my mid-range was a Discmania Neo Origin. And my putter was a Discraft Putter Line Magnet.
All right.
Perfect.
Well, there you have it. That's the lineup. Let us know in the comments, and then we'll probably put a poll on Spotify. So if it's there, be sure to vote as to whose starter pack you would pick. I know Shane's probably going to pick Michael's solely because there's a judge in there, an EMAC judge.
Yeah, it's an EMAC. It's a ripoff.
That's
Not the
also
same.
kind of where I was going. Shout out Shane.
Right on. Okay, majors. Let's talk about majors. So that's kind of our main segment tonight is talking about majors, its current state, what we think of things. So I kind of proposed this to you guys earlier, so we'll just kind of start here. Is Ricky Wysocki good enough in his current state of play? So we'll just run it back, like let's just say like the last 12 months. Is he good enough to win another major?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I would say yes, only because top Ricky is nearly unbeatable. Like he can make all the putts, he can do all the throws. He can do all the things that you need to win majors and to win tournaments on the Pro Tour. I just think the biggest thing right now is his health. And I know we don't do current events on this show, but I don't even know if he played in the Open.
He did.
He did? Okay. Mm-hmm. So, glad to see him back, glad to see him doing things. But, to me, I'm more concerned about Ricky's health moving forward than I am about him winning anything. I mean, it's tough to see him just not on the tour in general. Because then you always get the questions of, well, Ricky wasn't there. Or you always get the generalizations and the, it was this tournament valid because Ricky didn't play or because this person didn't play. So, yes, I think he can. I mean, yes. Long story long. Yeah, I think he can win when he's at top Ricky.
Biggest piggyback off of that is the fact that like Lyme's disease, he never knows when he's going to get another flare up. Like this week it's his wrist. Last year it was his knee. Like what's it going to be in the future? We have no clue. But he is that player that has absolutely every facet covered in his game. If he's hitting on every single facet of his game, there's no tournament that he can't win. So yeah, ultimately it's going to be his health that's going to be his make or break.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think he's good enough. But now here's the question: will he? And what major is kind of next for him? I think USDGC is the one that's kind of eluded him for a very long time. So will he win a major? And what's kind of the next one? And how soon do you think he could?
Champions Cup. I truly believe that he'll probably win at Champions Cup because didn't they play W.R. Jackson for his first world title? Right.
I'd have to fact check that, but I do remember. I think he did win one of his.
He won a Worlds playing W.R. Jackson, so I think Champions Cup is going to be his first major that he's going to win as early as this season. But once again, health.
I think he can make a really good push at Worlds, especially in those courses in Vermont. Mm-hmm. I believe he won last year, didn't he? There, am I wrong?
At Green Mountain.
Yeah.
GMC?
Yeah.
He might have.
Yeah.
We need a fact check.
We really need to look at our yeah.
No, I believe he did.
I think he plays really well at those courses. And I think that it's a little bit different for us casually when, we take maybe a month off when we get back into things, but to really be competitive, I think you really have to be in a really good swing of things. And he's going to have to he's a professional. He's good at what he does. But I think he's going to be the most confidence coming down the stretch, knowing that, Pro Tour points are on the line. I think that clutch Ricky is best Ricky. So I think, toward the end, I think he's got a good shot to win Worlds.
Of course, Clutch Ricky is the best Ricky. What are you talking about? Clutch anybody is the best everybody.
Oh, Clutch Jordan. Gosh, he was the best.
God, Clutch Jordan. No one can beat him.
I'm not wrong. That's the thing. I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. But we're just like, this is like, everybody sees that Clutch Ricky is like the best player.
Yes, Richard Wysocki won the Green Mountain Champion. It was a playoff event, and he won it by 3
That's
strokes.
right.
3
That's
strokes
right.
he won it by. So
I know my facts. 2 times right on the show. Gotta love it.
great.
Well, your luck's gonna run out. Okay. Next question for you fellas. Who is gonna be the next person to win a career Grand Slam? So current Grand Slam, the one that I think that is just kind of gonna be taking over, like Japan Open, Australian Open, Kona Piste. They've all just kind of come and gone, but I think we've really just solidified right now that the Grand Slam of disc golf is a European Open title, a US DGC or US WDGC, a Worlds, and then a Champions Cup. So the only person that has got a career Grand Slam is Paige Pierce. She's won European Open, she's won US WDGC, she's won Worlds, and then she obviously last year was the inaugural Champions Cup, so she did take that down. So she is currently the only one that has a career Grand Slam.
Okay, so we're omitting every Grand Slam that has happened prior because Barry Schultz would have had it, Ken Klima would have had it, and then.
Well, the question was who's the next, right?
The next?
We know that those guys have a Grand Slam. Champions Cup obviously didn't exist, and then we're omitting people that had like Japan Open and Kona Piste Opens because like those were just like kind of one-offs. Like they happened a handful of times, never consecutively.
Yep. Okay.
There's really not a whole lot to like build off. There's not a lot of meat on the bone to be like that's a major.
That's a damn good question. Sorry, language. That's a great question. I would say for right now, it's because Paul Macbeth has just the Champions Cup to then win. So I think it's going to be Paul Macbeth for a Champions Cup, just because he currently only has the one, whereas Rick would be my second guess. Rick would be my first guess, but he still needs USDGC and Champions Cup.
I'm going to just jump in. I think it's Dickerson on the MPO side that I think he's the closest because he's got a USDGC and he's got a Champions Cup, so he's knocked those two out. He does. I mean, yes, World is the big one. You got to play well for 5 rounds. Very capable of doing it, but I think Dickerson's one of those guys that he's like he's a start and stop guy on the tour, and like as we know, just in disc golf, especially going into the majors, you really need some momentum. And I think his start and stop of like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with picking and choosing your events, but like he doesn't really string together like 5 in a row on a swing.
He's suffered from that big time, yeah.
But then just the obvious layup, easy is Kristen on the FPO side.
Yeah.
Like
that was going to be mine. I think it's. Now, are you talking like over there? Like you're talking career Grand Slam?
It's a career Grand Slam, not a season Grand Slam. Because
I think
Paul Macbeth did that.
that
no one's doing that again.
Right. Then that's what I was going to say. MPO, no one's doing that. And I honestly, I think if this year is Kristen's year to do it. I mean, she had to have been close. If she kind of wouldn't have blown up on 18. She would have been close or had it last year. So I guess I don't. Yeah, I think
she missed USWDGC last year.
Okay,
she also didn't play European Open.
Yeah, true.
Okay. So,
could you imagine if she wins European Open? That's going to be an electric factory in Europe.
Incredible.
Like if she's playing, there is not a single fan over there that is not rooting for her.
And I don't think, barring major injury, I don't think she's not playing. Like she's chomping at the bit, I bet, to play European Open. Probably the tournament she's looking forward to the most out of any tournament this year, I would assume.
She's got to captain the President's Cup team for Team Europe as well.
That's true, she does, yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about that quick. While it's on the brain, why isn't President's Cup ever coming here?
I mean, to be honest, I don't really care that it's not here.
That's my take as well. I don't.
To be fair,
but that's because
everything else is here.
Yeah, but I feel like if it was ever here, you would care a little bit. Like we don't tune into President's Cup because it's on Monday or Monday or Tuesday of European Open.
Yeah.
And because they play it in the crack of dawn over there, it's like 2 a.m.
Yeah.
when they're doing the announcements and stuff. So that's why we don't care. I love team competitions and I love doubles play. So and I love the Ryder Cup in ball golf.
Yeah.
So I don't the Team Europe's never won the President's Cup. So I don't know why it doesn't come over here for one.
You gotta give him something, man. You gotta give him something. Give him the host site. They can feel like they have home field advantage and then just get crushed.
In all reality, it's been getting closer every single year. But there's no chance right now.
If Kristen plays, it's a whole different ball game, especially because Simon's coming into form and he plays for Europe. So it's Albert Tam and Vino Makala has been playing well. Yeah, the Europeans are gonna crush it. So I guess it's just probably gonna take Team Europe. You got to win one. So then it can come over here, I guess. I guess that's just what happens. That's not a major, but it happens around a major. So that's anything else you guys want to say about President's Cup?
Nah.
Still a fun event. Still
Very
a great event. Next question. Why isn't Throw Pink a major, and should it just be USWGC?
I'll take this one. Yeah. I mean, it really should be. I mean, USTGC puts on such a good show, such a good tournament every single year. I get why you used to kind of split it off and you make a big event out of the women's side on a different day, celebrate women's disc golf, promote women's disc golf, invite women from all over the place, regardless of division, to play. I really like that about the current major for the women, but everybody, all the women treat it as that anyway. They treat U.S. women's, they treat that as a major anyway, and it's just a glorified A tier.
Yeah, that's kind of a real bummer. Is that's an A tier. My suggestion would be just to do them on separate weekends. Just do them back-to-back weekends.
Is it an A tier? Isn't it an X tier? Because
it is an X.
You're right.
It is an X tier because of
stroke
and distance. Yeah.
You're right. Honestly, there's no reason why it shouldn't be a major. There absolutely zero reason. USWDGC needs to not be the major. It still needs to be an incredible global event because that's what it is. It's an incredible event that everyone is going to come play as soon as they get a chance. But as far as the prestige, you don't build prestige when you don't have the course be the same every single year. And while the course stays, the course doesn't stay the same. They're making changes constantly, but the course, in essence, on the grounds, stays the same. That just needs to happen to be able to build the prestige that is needed of the fourth major.
I think the USWGC has. I don't want to this is gonna sound so corny and so punny, but it's run its course because I think it's just
You're not wrong.
I mean, it's also very easy for us to say this just as three dudes who have no stake in anything with the women's professional game, but just watching it, a lot the last few years, us being close to Madison, it was cool that it was closer to here to us, but we know the courses very well, and for that to be crowned, to crown a major is it's interesting. It's just it's just one of those things where it's the course is we would never have a pro tour event on that course. On the courses that were played, we certainly would never have a men's major. So why are we having a women's major? And it's felt that way for a couple of years, just looking back on it and watching it. But Throw Pink has a great qualifying process. The course is obviously fantastic. So yeah, I think there's not a whole lot more that we need to say. I think it's just time, and should just do it. But That's why we vote. That's why if you're a PDGA member, you got to make sure you vote. Vote for the right people that agree with what you with what you're feeling and what you want to have happen. You know, if you pay your dues, you got to vote.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say about that. Use your power to do to make the change you want to have happen.
You know, I know that we've said no free shout outs, but usually PDGA Radio does a really good segment leading up to those elections, you know, interviewing all the people that are running for spots, you know, doing spot interviews for them, you know, really getting kind of a feel for what they're running on and everything like that. So go give PDGA Radio a listen for when you don't want to do your own reading, because, you know, some of us don't want to read.
I think it's also good on those where you get a feel for like what people are actually about, just because like they just submit a paragraph and you read through it and you're just kind of like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you have follow-up questions. So yeah. Yeah, just a couple more questions talking about majors, making it major tonight. Do we need a fifth major? And where would you put it?
No, I don't think we need another major. I feel like the more majors you put in, the less you diminish the other majors. I think the big problem in our sport right now is that we have no culture built around what our majors are right now. You know, I don't think that they're, you know, as built up as like, you know, you look at like golf's majors, like they're so prestigious to win. And, you know, but I don't think that, like, to me, you know, for being a fan for 5-6 years, you know, it just feels like another tournament sometimes, with Worlds being the only exception because it's probably been around the longest. Like, I just don't think we need to add another major for the sake of adding another major. Let's build some prestige upon the majors we have, make it be very, very important, and have fans feel like they're really, really important to win. And then we can look at, you know, maybe adding another one if we need to.
I mean, and while my answer is no for not adding another major, because I think 4 divides the season really well. Like, yeah, 4 is a good number, just because, you know, you get, you know, 1 to start the year in Champions Cup, 1 to cap off the year, USDGC, and then your 2 in the middle in European Open and Worlds. Even though Worlds is kind of in this weird realm of just like wherever they go is going to like flex into where the tour is at that point, because of course we're going to kind of take away that stop, because right now all the bids that are coming through are from those established events, because, you know, they have the tournament staff to run it. And so that's the unfortunate like nature of Worlds, is that it's going to bounce around between these already established tournaments, and it's going to be at weird random times. Because is it late August?
Yeah.
Late August, almost
late
September?
August, because it's taking the place of GMC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I guess that this is just a great segue, because one of my next, I have 2 questions left, and my second to last one was how do you feel about the bidding process, and like how can we improve it? And before I let you guys answer, I think this really just stems from the fact of like over the years, and we look at Utah a couple of years ago, is that people were putting in bid packages and like there weren't courses designed, or they weren't courses done. Like the ball golf course in Utah, from my understanding, and this is just, somebody can fact check me, I would love to have it myself fact checked, is I don't think that when they submitted the bid package, everything was necessarily laid out for the golf course as far as everything. And we know that it wasn't in terms of like the driving range and all these other amenities, but I don't think it was truly set as to like what the distance is, what's the par going to play as.
I think it was flipped. I think the fort wasn't finished because they've used the golf course for the Utah Open.
Okay.
So that, I think they like adjusted some of the things with the layouts, and of course, like you said, the amenities were just a S show.
We say gong show on this program.
Gong show, great. I like that. But yeah, the amenities were messed up, but I think the fort was still being fine tuned. someone can fact check me, but I believe that's what it was.
Regardless, the point is just still there on the question of that people are submitting bid packages that are not fully complete and refined. And I feel like our current bid package and our bidding process is broken. And a lot of people are pushing to have worlds somewhere else that's not so much like established. But I think after Utah, the PDGA might have gotten it together and said, we need to do a better vetting process.
Yeah.
So thoughts to you guys. We'll open the floor on the current bidding process, what you think about worlds, and just in general.
I mean, when it comes down to it, it's just there's not enough bids, and there's not enough esteemed tournament directors that have the wherewithal to turn in bids. Because we probably have 5.
That's why Nate Heinold is doing Worlds in 2024 in a state he's never done anything in.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, regardless of your feelings about Nate Heinold, Ben, he's got the tournament in a box.
Oh,
like,
yeah, no, 100%.
The guy can run a tournament wherever and make it great just because of all the financial backing that he has.
I don't disagree. He's just got a lot of connections, and I think he puts together a very, very solid show.
Yeah.
My thing with Nate Heinold is just completely separate. When it comes to this, was like there's not a stat like Virginia has to have A tiers.
Yeah.
Right? Like every state has A tiers and has good tournament directors. So it's just like, was there really nobody willing to step up? Because like, who was part of my question is like, this is rhetorical because you guys don't know the answer, but it's just like, who was part of the bid process for 2024 Worlds? And it was just like, none of our TDs here are good enough. Let's go get Nate. And I know that Macbeth played a little bit of a part in it. And he's, works closely with Ledgestone and stuff with Macbeth, or with Nate, I should say. But still, that's a rhetorical question,
I think that you don't have a ton of bids, right? You don't have, like Michael said, you don't have a ton. I think it's a issue of just overall, you don't have a ton of people who want to be tournament directors. We talked about on the show last time, Ben can't get his friends to help the Friday night before, right? You just have people that you have such a hard time finding labor and just people that want to host tournaments in general that it's quite a bit of undertaking just to host a tournament. And then you look at Worlds that's 5 times bigger. All the spotlight is on it. You're going to get ridiculed by, Brody on Twitter or whatever if something doesn't go right, or, rightfully so. If something doesn't go right, it needs to have a light shine on it so it doesn't happen in the future. But that puts a lot of pressure on tournament directors and a lot of pressure on just anybody volunteering and staffing to make a really well-run event. And I think, PDGA has to come up with, or the governing body has to come up with some kind of, hey, let's help people run tournaments. Let's encourage people to run tournaments. You'll get more tournaments run. You'll have higher quality tournaments run, and eventually you'll start to get more bids. But I think that the course design too is so ever changing. We haven't found out what a good course is yet on the Pro Tour that supports all the fans that you want, the ticket sales, the challenge for the pros. I feel like you get one or the other.
The live streaming capabilities.
Right. So it's just so hard to package all that together, plus the pressure of hosting a Worlds that I think there's only a select few people that even want to try it.
So here's kind of my thought on just some of the things, just to follow up to what you were saying. PGA needs to figure out what they are doing with Worlds, because technically it's their event.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you in or are you out, PDGA? Or is this your event? And are you hiring the TD? Are they collecting a salary? Or is this an A tier that has already been established and then we're just calling it Worlds? I think that we need to have some clearer definitions, because I feel like the PDGA is just too wishy-washy. They're like, well, it's your event. We'll get involved when we have to, and we're just going to say it's ours and we'll put our name on it. Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it.
I'll kind of go off of that a little bit too. What you guys talked about, having 14 million in the PGA
just
coffers.
Chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. Why isn't that just okay, we don't even have to throw a huge lump sum at it, but throw $50K bang. 50K is nothing when it comes out of 14 mil. Like, and let's be honest, we have probably 100,000 truly active members, because speaking of just like from 100,000, which was
2020.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, 100. No, well, I registered in 2019, and I'm 114025.
Okay.
So yeah, almost like 2018, 2019. So from 2018 to 5 years. Give it a 5-year stretch. We have over 100,000 people. So that's we'll take the base $50, right?
Yep.
500K.
So my solution to this in my brain is if the PDGA has $14 million and it's collecting dues from everybody every year, you should have 4 people that are full-time salaried people by the PDGA that are each given annual budgets to put on the 4 majors, and then one of them is obviously the PDGA Europe person to handle the European Open.
Yep.
And then it is on these 4 people to evaluate the bids for Worlds.
Yep.
And I think Champions Cup should just stay at WR Jackson, build up the prestige there. Plus, if it's the PDGA Champions Cup, keep it at PDGA headquarters.
Yep.
USDGC is eventually going to move. We don't know where or what's happening, but it's going to move because Winthrop University is building infrastructure that's going to phase out the course. And European Open is going to stay at the Beast. So then it should just. This is my thought is that these individuals should be vetting and also just searching for bids and going to different courses and going to different communities that have done very well and saying, here's what we're willing to offer disc golf area. We need you. Are you in or are you not?
Do you think that Worlds is a good event to have moved over all over the place?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just noticed some other, you look at golf, right? I don't think they move their majors from courses.
So Augusta is always at Augusta.
Right.
There is 5. It's either 4 or 5, or it's a handful of the Open. So the British Open, those just rotate. They're always on a loop. They're not there's no bid. They're always on a loop.
Yeah.
So it's always it's always a big deal when it goes back to St. Andrews, which is the home of golf. And then the U.S. Open and the PGA Championship.
Yeah, Players Cup. Or no, not Players Cup. Sorry.
The PGA Championship. Those rotate. So they have 2 rotating and 2 permanent.
Right. I just think it would almost be better if you got it on a loop. But again, our game is so ever changing on the courses and all that kind of stuff that until we find courses that challenge our current pros, we just can't afford to do the loop. So
I think right now it needs to be in a loop, because I think right now you need to have a loop of 5, just 5 good TDs, 5 good courses until the PDGA figures it out.
Yeah.
You have to have some kind of. Right now, it's too random, too wishy-washy, too many questions about what Worlds is and what defines a world champion.
And what defines OB from 2 years ago.
Right. So I think getting it on a rotation would be better. So at least you have some consistency, and then you can figure it out from there.
All right. Well, there it is. One more question, and we'll just make it quick. What is a Pro Tour win that is not a major, but winning it feels like a major? I will go first. MVP Open.
That's it. That's a good one.
I am a huge fan of the Green Mountain Championships. I feel like those courses are just so clean. That time of the year too is so cool. I'm super excited for it to be Worlds this year.
The color change in the
leaves. The color change, and it just feels that area just feels so awesome in that time of the year. I love both the courses. Definitely a dream course to go play, even though I get absolutely spanked there. But yeah, it would. I think that one to me feels like a major.
I want to throw it back to almost when the national tour was still around and Masters Cup. I think Masters Cup felt like a major more than anything else. Granted, that's not even on the tour anymore. It's not even. It's
because
not
you
even
throw
like
18 hyzers.
It's not even a silver event anymore.
Because you throw 18 hyzers.
Sure. Okay.
At least at Fountain Hills.
That's true. Man, I truly don't know because I would have said both the Green Mountain Championship or MVP Open if either of you would not have said that. But I do think that it's the next one that's going to really feel like it is going to be a tournament in Europe. The next European tournament that's going to pop on and be an elite. Yeah, I think that's going to feel like a major relatively soon. So I'll do like a futuristic kind of, one of those. One of those is going to feel like a major very soon.
All right. Should we go to buy or sell?
Yeah,
Buy or sell, baby.
All right. Final segment of the night. Buy or sell. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Michael.
Yeah, I'll go. Okay, buy or sell. This is going to be it's going to be really personal for us. So, and it's not going to necessarily be like setting a line on a bet or anything like that. Okay, so which one would you buy? Which one would you sell? A 2-round in 1 day tournament, or 3 rounds over 2 days, playing 2 rounds 1 day, 1 round on the second day.
I'm buying the 2 rounds in 1 day and selling the opposite. Mostly because I'm an old man and I love my Sundays, so I play on MA1 and Saturdays. So I love just playing disc golf and doing what I need to do on that day. Focus, intense on 1 day. Getting it all out there, and then taking Sunday to kind of like look back and recap and be like, okay, like take a full weekend day to just kind of be like rest, recover, and also kind of think about the things I need to improve upon. I feel like those 2 day 3-round tournaments, by Sunday after the 3rd round, I'm fried, or even, halfway through the 3rd round, I'm fried. So I'm definitely buying 2 rounds 1 day.
I should have made it buy, sell, hold. Update it. I'm scratching it. Buy, sell, hold, and keep those first 2 ones there, but then also add 3 rounds, 3 days.
Ugh.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm buying 2 of them. I'm buying the 3 rounds, 3 days, because when I was in Vegas, energy was just high, and that's 4 days, and it's just like people play their 1 round, they hang out, they see their homies, and like I'm buying that. I'm also buying 2 rounds on a Saturday. I'm selling with every fiber of my being 2 rounds on a Sunday.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I guess I was thinking more like us, like casual golfers, like, between like us 3. Like, I think if you're going out to like an event like Vegas and you're playing in Vegas and you're getting in that atmosphere, like if we went to like DDO or like the AM side of DDO or like something like that. Yeah. I mean, I'm buying that, but if a local tournament had a Friday, Saturday, Sunday 1 round, and I know there is one in Wisconsin, I got to take off work for that. I got to use PTO, man, and then I want to go practice the course. It's probably an A tier, like, use my rangefinder.
No. The results of that poll are 50-50 right now, so someone please break that. There's one tournament I know of, or at least it was doing this, it's 2 rounds on Saturday, shotgun, Sunday tee times.
Mm-hmm. I don't mind that.
That'd be better, but
I don't mind that.
I don't know, man.
It gives you some kind of prestige on Sunday. I like that better than just like the same 3 rounds all weekend. Like, I like that it gives you kind of like a championship Sunday.
Isn't that what Mad City Open did before?
Mad City, I think Tower Ridge has done it in the past.
If you're not from here, these are all events that have been going on for a minute.
Fair. Okay, so for me, I'm also going to buy 2 rounds on a Saturday and 3 rounds over 3 days, and I'm also going to sell
We are smashing the sell button on 2 rounds on Sunday. If you are doing 2 rounds on Sunday, please do not.
Stop.
Please stop.
Unless you are going to pay for my PTO on Monday.
Yeah, sleepy boy on Monday.
Big sleepy.
Oh my god. Well, it's just because up until this time, like with Clash of the Creek, there's never been anything in our area that's been of bigger, 2-round tournament. So we always had to drive. So it's like at a minimum, we're hoofing an hour. And it's just like by the time you put your 2 rounds on Sunday, you got to drive back and then you got to get up in the morning and go to work. At least if you're going to play on Sunday, let me play doubles and I can just cash it in with my doubles partner. I can just send it in.
Love it. Run everything. Just be either run everything or just be done.
Or run nothing.
Oh, especially
All or nothing,
round
baby.
round 2 of doubles on a Sunday when you know you're out of it. It is ace run city.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, that's
I guess
me.
I'll go. Yeah, I'll go my buy yourself. So we kind of all know like the Paige Pierce. It seems like the last year or so she's been kind of not as fired up or energetic about either winning or just not the same Paige Pierce we've seen in the past. And there seems to be this women's 5-time world champ curse, and no one can get to 6. So buy or sell that if Paige Pierce doesn't win Worlds this year, she'll never hit 6.
Buy.
So,
Smash the buy.
smash sell.
Oh, split. I like it.
I'll explain. Regardless of how anybody feels about Paige Pierce, she is far too talented. And just like we said before, our worlds are going to keep on rotating back through to what other events have been on the Pro Tour. And she's bound to win one of those over the next 5 years. So
I think she's got documentary curse. I think
okay.
so my thought process is that Paige has not adapted enough to the current
Okay, fair. Yeah.
Pro Tour, the current version of the Pro Tour, the current, just I don't think she's adapted enough. Kristen has just adapted all facets of her game to win. That's why she hasn't fallen off the podium. And I think the other people that are coming up now are their current version is like of these players like Ella Hansen. If you would have taken this version of Ella Hansen and thrown her in the mix when Paige was winning numbers like 2, 3, and 4, would have easily kept pushing. Would have pushed it, and it would have made everything very interesting. Katrina Allen still exists and is still very good and is still not going anywhere. I think that it's just going to keep getting harder for her to get to 6. And as Paige, let's just be honest, as she continues to get a little bit older, and she has battled some injuries, nothing like to the extent of like
Major,
Ricky or really anybody, but still, a lot of, still the tour's still a grind. It's still a wear and tear.
It's a physical event, yeah.
I just think it's going to get harder for her. Yes, I believe Paige Pierce has the capabilities to win Worlds. That's never not in question. I just think that if she doesn't win it this year, I'm buying that because it's just going to keep getting harder and harder because there are so many people at Pro Tour events that we're seeing this year that are just coming out of nowhere on the FPO side.
True.
Sayananda, Annika Steen, like people that we have never heard of, and definitely Matt hasn't heard of because he hasn't watched live disc golf until this year.
Never.
Hey, Caroline Henderson. You forgot about Caroline Henderson.
Yeah, again, that still just proves the point, though, that she literally just started playing disc golf competitively in like 2018, 2019, and here we are, right? Like, that's why I'm buying that take. It's not that she's not capable.
It was 2020.
It's just,
she didn't even pick up the
she was
disc
a
until
COVID
2020.
COVID disc.
Crazy.
yeah.
Which even makes it crazier. Yeah, and like I said, that's why I posed it. That's why I posed it. And I agree with Ben. The women's field, I said it last week too. The women's field is getting better, and it's only going to be better. And every single year that more athletes from other sports come into disc golf, and They realize that there's
Shows
money starting to
up.
get pumped into it, and it's just going to get better and better. And I think that, for Worlds too, you have to have some sort of fire to win Worlds, right? Like Paul Macbeth hasn't, he wins Worlds because he's got fire. He's been competitive in Worlds because he's got that fire, So you have to have some kind of fire and some kind of drive. And it just seems like every single year, like Paige keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Paige win another one, but you got to prove that you want it. You got to prove that you want to win a Worlds to win it.
Well said, my friend.
So well said.
I don't think we need to.
So articulate.
I don't think we need to expand on that.
We don't
I'll
need
just
to
do
go.
mine. Final buy and sell of the night. Buy or sell, I should say. Silver Series should be 3 rounds, no cuts. Elite Series should be 4 rounds with a cut.
Bye.
Yeah, hard buy. I think that really your silvers should be just test runs, which I think they kind of are right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think like they're worth barely any. They're not worth barely any points. You can only take like 3 or 4 of them, I think. Like, I mean, really, they're just test runs to see what would work well on the Pro Tour. And this is why you see him cycle so much year in and year out, because some courses are really good, some courses are really bad, and some states need to have pro disc golf in them. Like, I just think that they don't need to be any more than 3. I mean, it's such a long season. Make them short, make them sweet, make people want to tune in to see what the courses look like. And if you get a lot of tune in, bump it up.
Yeah. In player feedback, get good player feedback, bump it up. Yeah, I have nothing else to add to that.
But we are pro cut. We are pro cut.
We're pro cut on the elite
I'm pro
class.
cut as well.
Yeah. Random thing to end the night. Did you guys see that graphic that came up on our Facebook feeds that Wisconsin has 7 of the top 100 courses, and it's the most per state?
Did you see what number 1 was?
No, we are number 1.
No, I guess I thought it was talking about like course.
Wisconsin is number 1 because we have 7 courses in the top 100. And the next
Gotcha.
closest,
I was curious on what the top course in Wisconsin was.
the next closest has 5.
I will answer your question.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you.
It has rotated. No, hear me out. It has rotated between like Superior has been like the number 1. It has like Roland Ridge has been like number 3, and it's just kind of cycled in as like the list of like it's been interchanging. It is my understanding that Superior is number 1.
Okay. I thought that like Sandy Point was up there for a while.
Sandy
too.
Point's up there. Yeah, they all just kind of
Shout
cycle
out Mike
through.
and Michelle, great folks.
Yeah, so I don't know what is number 1. I just know that it does kind of cycle. It's just kind of just based on like UDisc ratings and UDisc reports. And
I'll look it up for next time.
Yeah,
there
please.
you go.
Please do.
But yeah, so just kind of wrap up my buy and sell. We are pro cut. Make the Elite Series, build some longevity, build some beef behind them. Anything else you guys want to add?
I got nothing.
No, Michael, I'm really glad that we got your sound issues probably figured out today. No, but for real, sorry everybody about last week. If there's 2 things that everybody knows about me, it's that I'm terrible with technology and I'm probably the loudest person you know. So thank you everybody who came back for episode 2. We really appreciate you.
That we do. We really appreciate you. Make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcasting platform. Be sure to drop a like, share it with all your homies. Make sure you participate in any polls that we got going on. Make sure so this will be coming out on a Wednesday. So if you haven't already, listen back on Monday for Shane and JP's kind of Monday madness of just randomness. We're on Wednesday, and then Night Owl's coming at you on Friday. You can find us on all your platforms, YouTube, and all your podcasting platforms. And then all your disc golf shopping needs, DoorDisc.com. Other than that, this has been Casual Relief. Enjoy the rest of your week.
And there's no spoilers in live sports.
No spoilers,
in live sports.